This is my wife, AJ. We're Pat and AJ in the morning. It's a clever title from Cars 108 Radio right here in Flint, Michigan. And welcome to the third annual Illuminate Community Stroll. And as you can imagine, we're strolling in a different way this year.
Little bit, yeah. We're all kind of doing our own thing on our own, but it's still for the same cause. It's all for the National Alliance of Mental Illness, Genesee County.
So we have a great little presentation for everyone to hang out for. We hope you do. We have some very important speakers coming up and some very important information. It takes a village to put on an event like this, so thank you to our sponsors, such as Genesee Health Systems, Mock Community College,
Michigan Association of Health Plans, and ANA Accounting.
We are here tonight to illuminate life. That's why we put on the walk. This is for families, this is for communities, as we move forward in acknowledging our mental health struggles and what we can do to improve them in all of our lives.
We want everybody here in the Flint area and Genesee County to know that help is available, and we want you to know where you can get it, and it's okay to ask for it.
So let's talk about what's going to be happening, well, right now. Obviously, you know who we are, but now we've got to find out all about NAMI of Genesee County. So let's welcome up right now, Suzanne Kellum.
Hi, my name is Suzanne Kellum, and I'm a volunteer with NAMI Genesee County. Just wanted to give you a little bit of information about who we are and what we do. Our purpose is to, if you could go back a slide, Joanne. Yep. So our mission is to reduce stigma associated with mental illness so that we can remove barriers and more people will reach out for help. So at NAMI Genesee County, we want to build strong families and healthy communities. And we do this by offering a number of free services to everyone who's interested in participating. To start off, we have educational programs. These are evidence-based programs. That means that they're proven and that they work. They are free for participants. We also have support groups. We have family support groups, and we have support groups for individuals living with a mental illness. We call that one Connections. And finally, we do events like Illuminate for the community, and we also put on advocacy events to help promote wellness among individuals who have a mental illness. This is a video that we would like to share with you. It's our signature program, Family to Family, and who better to tell you about it than individuals who have taken the class and really benefited from it.
It was scary because I didn't know how to help him.
We just really didn't know how to manage any of this.
I was very fearful because I saw my daughter and our family headed to a very bad place.
I mean, it was just too much. It's just, this is not what life should be.
Family to Family is a free class for family members who have someone in the family with a mental illness that they have to help take care of.
It is taught by trained family members with that shared experience who've been there.
The family gave us the understanding and the knowledge of what this particular type of drug is, what the effect is on the body.
When he became psychotic, which was terrifying, NAMI had prepared me for that.
And when you find NAMI and you have so much of these positive reinforcements and you get the knowledge, the support, the wisdom, the collective experience of others, it's like this big wave of an answer.
I just think it's very important that people know that there is hope and the possibility of recovery.
The scariness kind of goes away when you see people that can relate and they can understand.
It's taught me that there's a lot more hope and a lot more happiness out there for us as a family in our life.
The puzzle pieces were all coming together. I finally found someone who understood exactly what I was feeling.
They can reclaim their lives as families and help support reclaiming the life of their loved one as well.
And wow, what a life-changing experience.
we always want to reclaim and remember, which is for me what Family to Family is about, is reclaiming and remembering the joys that our families are meant to give to each other.
So we want everyone to know, if you're interested in the Family to Family class, we have a new online session starting on September 24th. Please contact us at either call us at 810-232-6498, or send us an email at namigenesee@gmail.com, and we'll provide more information on how to get signed up for those classes. In addition to our educational programs, we also provide understanding and compassion through our family support groups and our connection support groups. So the family support group, we have several options. One of them is in person, the second Tuesdays of every month from 7 to 9 p.m. at our office, 2346 Stonebridge in zip code 48532. Look for us in building H, and you can remember that because it stands for Hope and Help. Our connection support group, which is for individuals who are living with a mental illness, also on the second Tuesday of every month from 7 to 9. This one is exclusively online. And for more information, we need you to send us an email at namigenesee@gmail.com.
Thank you so much, Suzanne. And now let's go ahead and hear from this year's keynote speaker.
I'd like to welcome Tawan Anderson.
Hello, everyone. First, I want to give thanks to NAMI. Thank you so much for having me, giving me the opportunity to share my story. My name is Tawan Anderson. I was diagnosed in 2016 with generalized anxiety disorder, depression, and PTSD. And since being diagnosed with that, I became an advocate for mental health, because I can imagine having to go through a mental illness alone. Even though I had a great support system, it was still rough and dark for me. So my goal is to help people that don't have people, and that's how I became an advocate. I've created 2 events, one called the Monumental Experience, which is a community event which brings free resources to the community about everything surrounding mental health. I also do mental health in the church, which brings awareness in the brings mental health awareness in the church, as we know that prayer and God works, but we also know that we need a therapist. So just bringing that knowledge to the church as well as the community. The book Anxiety Is Not Me is tips and I almost said tricks. It's tips to help deal with anxiety and depression. The link is there if anybody want to take a look at the website. We have all the resources on there for our community, as well as you can purchase the book as well. Today I want to talk to you guys about the breakdown, which is just giving a little background of my story and how I was able to function within my disorders. What caused you to pause? What was the thing that shook your whole foundation? Was it an illness? Was it a divorce? The loss of a loved one? We all have that things that drops us to our knees, whether it's voluntary or involuntary. A quick question. Have you ever been to the emergency room, hooked up to all those machines, hearing all the monitors beeping? Have you felt like this was it, like you wasn't gonna make it? Well, maybe yours wasn't the emergency room. Maybe yours was being in a relationship that was sucking the life out of you. Maybe you weren't hooked up to any machines, but hooked up to someone that you had no business being hooked up with. No, maybe that's not you either. Maybe you're hooked to a memory of a loved one that's no longer here. You can't seem to disconnect from that memory, and it's causing you to lose yourself. Is that you? See, we all have something that will break us down. Mine was years and years of trauma that caused me to drop to my knees. It paused my whole life for about 6 months. I literally couldn't function. I lost over 30 pounds from not eating, and I totally felt like I was losing my mind. So I want you guys to think for a second. I want you to think of your brain as an envelope. We fill it and fill it with things that happen to us, whether it's traumatic or not, with to-do lists, other people's problems. But what happens when you overstuff an envelope? It busts, right? Same thing for our minds. When we don't get rid of some of that stuff, our minds explode into stress, depression, anxiety. It could be OCD and more. In my case, it was anxiety and panic attacks. This was a struggle for my family and I because we didn't know anything about mental illness. But I did find a therapist, and I truly believe that she saved my life. And going to therapy, I learned something called self-care, but it wasn't all pretty like everybody make it on social media. You know, it wasn't the bath bombs and scents of lavender. See, self-care for me was learning that things from my past had a direct impact on my life now. Like seeing things that my father did in my parents' marriage. I was telling the lady, like, hey, this don't affect me. Like my mom's stuff, it doesn't bother me. And my therapist said, but the first thing that came out of your mouth about your own marriage was something about your father. It was learning that dating drug dealers who literally just throw money at you to keep you quiet would cause me to not be affectionate towards my own children. And that almost losing my life from dating them would cause me to have PTSD. I can't even hear a door shut without getting scared due to being robbed at gunpoint. But therapy is needed. We have to get rid of all that so that we can function properly. Our families need us, but more importantly, we need us. In going through my own healing process, I created the 5 steps to Monumental. All of these things collectively helped me to gain some of my sanity back. I'm still searching for some of it, but I'll go through those with you guys. The 5 steps to a healthy Monumental experience is therapy, prayer and meditation, self-care, exercise, and journaling. Therapy, I'm always asked, what are your thoughts regarding therapy? My first response is, it's your lifeline. I know some of the most common thoughts are, I don't need a therapist, I'm not crazy, there's nothing wrong with me, I don't need to tell anyone my business, and it doesn't work. But the benefits of therapy are healing from past and present traumas, an outlet to discuss things with someone who is non-biased, diagnosis of unknown disorders. Treating your mental health can help reduce and eliminate medical conditions. I found my therapist through word of mouth, and she's the best thing that ever happened to me. I knew I wanted a Christian woman who understood and believed in what I believed in, which is God. I wanted someone who was older for wisdom. Also wanted someone who was African American so she understood my struggles. When picking your therapist, I always say be just as picky as you would be with the babysitter. You know how serious we are about someone watching our children, and we need to be the same way with someone that'll be handling our mental. If you can, grab a pen or a pencil. These are some questions that you can ask when reaching out for a therapist. What license and certifications do you have? What type of therapy do you offer? How often will we meet? How long are the sessions? Do you give homework? My therapist always gives me homework. Have you dealt with clients that have whatever issue that you may have? When was the last time you dealt with this said person? Can I contact you outside of our sessions if needed? Do you have a therapist? I felt that was important because I feel like therapists get dumped on. So if I know that my therapist is seeing someone, I know that they're having a healthy mind state as well. And whatever other questions you feel will help you make the right decision for therapy. Next up is prayer and meditation. I always like to say, I know that everyone believes in different things. This is what worked for me. You know, if you don't believe in God or anything like that, that's okay. But for me, it's prayer and God. Prayer for me is like breathing. Again, it's another lifeline. I remember days when I felt like I was going to die. I would literally say Jesus' name until I fell asleep. Even though I was going through something horrific, when I prayed, I felt a tiny bit of peace. I can't lie and say that there wasn't days that I didn't question God, but that's okay because his word said that we can do that. So I made sure I challenged him. I would say, God, you said that you would never leave me nor forsake me. You said when I am weak, you would be strong. God, you healed the blind man, so I know that you can heal me. God, you healed the lady with the issue of blood, so I know that you can heal me as well. Prayer just brings peace, and I feel it's needed in our lives to be mentally healthy. Meditation, I haven't mastered that yet. It's the stillness for me. I can't get my mind quiet, but I still practice it. Some of the benefits of meditation are focusing on the present, building skills to manage stress, increasing self-awareness, and increasing patience and tolerance. Next is self-care. First, I want to say that your self-care regimen may not look like everybody else's, and that's okay. We all need different things to bring ourselves back to some kind of normalcy. You need to find what brings your calmness. I'll give you a couple things that work for me. And again, you can add to the list, or, just take these things, or, find other things that work for you. One of the main things that helped me was massage therapy. I know you might say you can't afford it, but most medical insurance is covered. If you go through a chiropractor's office, you don't have to get adjusted. I know that's a lot of people's concern, but most major insurances does cover that for you. So that was a major help for me in dealing with the stress and, muscle tension from panic and anxiety attacks. Resting. When I get off work, I literally try to take 20 minutes to deal with my work day and switch over to my night. Just laying in silence. It's just like hitting the reset button to get the remainder of my day done. Reading. I find that reading gives your brain an opportunity to rest. You can travel to wherever the book takes you. Sometimes getting 30 minutes or so in is enough to give you the strength to keep on going. Shopping is one. Raise your hand. Shop therapy. It's a real thing. In moderation, though, because if we're racking up credit cards and things like that, then that's not self-care, that's self-destruction, and we don't want to do that. So just be careful of your budget with that. Next, we have exercise. This quote has stuck with me. Exercise not only changes your body, it changes your mind, your attitude, and your mood. I'm a witness that when I'm not exercising, my anxiety and panic attacks are through the roof. I don't even work out anymore for the losing weight portion. It's totally just to keep myself sane. I do 4 days a week. That kind of keeps me mentally in check. You'll have to figure out what works for you. 20 to 45 minutes a day. I mean, it doesn't have to be hours and hours in the gym, but just enough to give you that reset button. The benefits of exercising, besides the obvious, reduce tiredness that can increase mental alertness, improve sleep, stress relief, increase energy and stamina, improvement in mood. The other part of exercising that worked for me is yoga. I know people have their different views on that, but it totally helps to keep you centered and focused. The benefits of yoga is calms your nervous system down, take you from the fight or flight to a more relaxed state. It builds a sense of self. With yoga, it's you versus you. You learn more about yourself and you become more centered and confident. Relieves stress, reduces muscle tension, and increase flexibility. And the last step is journaling. My thing is write it away. Write your thoughts down. Journaling is so therapeutic. When I was going through my mental breakdown, no matter how I felt, I wrote. Even on the days even on the days when it was horrible, I still wrote. No matter how I felt, I would write it out. I had even wrote down when I would be done with this. Needless to say, I'm still here dealing, but it helped me to understand that this is a faith walk and I have to trust God no matter what it looks like. The benefits of journaling is to help to control your mood, help to track your progress / emotional state, helps to identify triggers if you suffer from any kind of mental illness, and helps to identify negative thoughts, and it promotes positive self-talk. Again, those were the things that helped me to, when I was going through my mental breakdown, and they really helped. So I hope that those help you out. That's all that I have for you today. Again, if you want to reach out to me, my link is on the page, and thank you for your time.
Well, thank you so much, Tawan Anderson, our keynote speaker for this year. So you heard a lot about therapy right there from Tawan. So why not talk to some of the folks who actually do it?
Absolutely.
Here we have with us is Dr. Dan. Dr. Dan, I want you to go ahead and tell the folks right now who you are and exactly what it is that you do.
Sure, thank you very much. My name is Dan Doolin. I'm a licensed psychologist. I work in Flint at the Mott Children's Health Center. I serve on the NAMI board, which is a nice opportunity. And I've worked in lots of different settings. I've worked as a private therapist with adults. I do work with children and families now. And I have interest in helping people find their own best therapist.
Well, thank you so much. Ebony, do you mind telling us a little bit about your background?
Of course. Hi guys, my name is Ebony. I am a licensed as a marriage and family therapist in Michigan. I currently operate the Christian Wellness Center. It is a telehealth company, and we focus specifically on relationships and families from a faith-based perspective. We see a lot of international clients, and we believe in a holistic approach to help facilitate emotional healing. I hold certifications in both cognitive behavior therapy and dialectical behavior therapy. I also do a ton of speaking engagements and workshops about all things marriage, family, and mental health. I am married with 3 children, and I'm also a foster mom. I enjoy reading, biking, and I enjoy watching Christmas movies on a Hallmark channel.
Well, it's almost time for Ebony to be in full Christmas glory. We have some questions for both of you that maybe perhaps people have as they're watching this. Now, I have a therapist. AJ, you have a therapist.
I was just texting with her today.
So what is it like for someone? How do you sum up this experience in a nutshell for someone who may be coming in to talk to a therapist for the first time ever in their life?
Well, I'll go ahead and start and give Ebony a chance after this, if I may. But I think for many people, that's a little bit nerve-wracking. They're not sure if they're going to be comfortable here. They may also feel a little embarrassed about what they may have to talk about. And they just don't know the other person on the other side of the desk that well. And they're probably going to want to feel them out a little bit. Maybe we're not going to tell our deepest, darkest secrets first time around. And I encourage people to do some of that, getting to know their counselor and building some comfort before they get into it.
Ebony, I thought it was interesting that you said you take a holistic approach sometimes to therapy services. And I know people ask us this all the time. Does going to therapy to seeing a counselor, does that involve medication? People sometimes think of a couch and a doctor and now I take this.
Yeah, so to answer that question is no. All therapy does not involve medication. I like to say if you need the medication, then find a psychiatrist and take the medication. But then we will put a plan together to help you get off of that medication. Right? Because if you don't need to be, then the goal is never to stay on the medication if you can help it. And so when I say I take a holistic approach, I mean that I work from a systems perspective, right? So this idea that so many things in your life influence what you currently have happening, so what you're currently experiencing. And so we're talking about, when I say holistic approach, I'm talking about your mind, I'm talking about your body, your soul, your mental health, all of those things and how they work together. I don't specifically believe that one is separate from the other.
So my question would be, how hard is it for somebody to seek out a therapist or a counselor? I know that's usually the barrier that people talk about first is, well, I don't even know how to find one. What would you say to people who say, I don't know how to find a therapist, or how do I find a therapist?
I would say Google it. You Google everything else, right? Like honestly, all it takes is a Google search. You can Google counseling in my area, therapist near me. There's some websites that'll probably come up for you. One of the more popular ones being something called Psychology Today. And then when that populates for you, you can literally go in and choose everything that you want in a therapist, right? So if you want someone who deals with depression, if you want someone who lives within 10 miles of you, if you want someone who offers teletherapy, like all of these things, you can go in and click a button and it will bring up all of the therapists in your area who have said they offered all of these things.
Dr. Dan, question for you, since you do have a background with children. What is an appropriate age to start counseling? Is it young, old, or somewhere in between?
You know, it's really a matter of responding to your life and your opportunities. let me just say there are infant mental health specialists. Now, they don't just work with the infant, they're working with the bond between the parent and the child. Oftentimes, that's where the opportunity for change may come from, or the opportunity for improvement would come from. And that's a perfect example. As a child ages, their ability to respond to what's happening, to take action, to have agency and have ownership slowly increases. So you heard Tawana describe an adult who can literally identify some of her problems. She worked with her therapist hard on that, I imagine. And she gave effort and energy to it. If you go all the way back with children, you have a slightly different situation. They may be aware they have a problem, but they may not be, they may not consider it a problem. They may be having the time of their life. And we just need to help them find the right place to do that. It's really nice when people can identify exactly what they're working with. And even adults sometimes don't have the words to express what they're experiencing. A therapist is a great person to work with on those kinds of things. So we're really talking about a wide continuum of possibilities. And I think therapists typically are pretty good at trying to match the right treatment to the right person. And again, I encourage those seeking that help to keep going until they find it. I hope I answered your question.
You absolutely did, and we want to thank both of you, not only for what you're doing within our community every single day, but also for joining us here tonight and to help answer some questions.
Thank you so much.
We're going to move on now to talk to Miss Mary. Mary is the lead literacy coach at the Flint Development Center. Mary, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about what you're doing?
Hi, I am one of the volunteers at NAMI. I have helped put on the event for Illuminate the last couple of years, and I'm here to support it online as well. Normally, you can see in the picture up there, we have a 22 push-up challenge that is has been supported by the Sheriff's Department in the past. 22 is the number that we like to focus on to bring awareness and bring honor to veterans. Unfortunately, the statistic for veterans is that we lose 22 of them on average per day to suicide. Talking about PTSD and some other things that have affected them deeply. So we want to get help out to the veterans. If you are a veteran, if you know a veteran, there are a couple of organizations in our area. You can see on the slide. Genesee County Health Systems has veteran navigators. There is a number there that you can call and an email to get help. Or there's also the Department of Veterans Affairs Community-Based Outpatient Clinic. That's a long one. And it's CBOC for short. And that's right on Linden Road, which is actually really close to the NAMI office as well. So 2 places that you can reach out if you are a veteran or if you know a veteran. But more importantly, if you're watching this and you want to help support and get awareness out there, do the 22 push-up challenge. Take a picture of yourself, put it on our Facebook or the website just to bring awareness. So hopefully people ask you, what the heck are you doing? And you can share that and get some information out for the veterans.
That's exactly what it's all about, a little bit of publicity and ending that stigma with the number 22. Well, thank you so much, Mary.
Now we'd like to introduce Lisa Bruder. She is the Manager of Education for the Genesee Health System. Lisa, welcome, and tell everybody why you're here and what you're about.
Hey, thanks so much. Like she said, my name is Lisa. I'm the Manager of Education for Genesee Health System. I am a therapist by trade, but I'm here tonight to talk specifically about this really awesome course called Mental Health First Aid. And I was trained like 6 years ago, and it quickly became my most favorite part of my job. And this is a course that everyone can take. So the purpose of the course is to teach everyone in the community to be a first responder. So much like if you see someone who needs medical attention, we know what to do, check airway breathing, we're doing CPR. Mental health first aid is that for a mental health crisis. And I've heard a lot of the other speakers tonight talk about mental and physical health and how we really need our community and our world to understand how they are both absolutely relevant and important to our well-being. And so this course teaches everyone about different mental health concerns so that we can respond to those crises and support the people in our lives and in our community. So there are a couple different courses we're going to talk about. It did begin in Australia and now is in 23 countries. So it's been going rapidly since about 2008. The adult course is, all the courses are for people who are 18 and older. And the adult course focuses on individuals who are 18 and older and the challenges that they may face. And then the youth course is also for people to participate who are 18 and older, but we're going to focus on more youth mental health centered things. So that's a really great course for teachers, babysitters, parents, anyone and everyone in the community who may be encountering a young person who's struggling with some mental health concerns. And this is also registered under the SAMHSA evidence-based practice, which means that it's tested, tried, true, and we know that it works. So this is just a little bit about like talking about how we eliminate stigma and how we know about how prevalent this is. So this is any US adult with a mental disorder in any 1 year. And so it adds up to 19.6%. And I always say when I do this course that I am not a mathematician, that is not something I'm really great at, but I can tell you that those numbers don't add up to 19.6. And what that means is that a lot of these diagnoses are comorbid or co-occurring. And so if you're experiencing one, sometimes they become cyclic. Anxiety can make us feel depressed and depression can make us feel anxious. And so this course really goes over a lot of these really common disorders so that you can understand them, recognize them within yourself and with other people in the community. So participants can expect to learn risk factors and warning signs of mental health and substance use disorders. We're gonna have a lot of information about depression, anxiety, trauma, suicide, psychosis, and substance abuse. We really focus on the most common concerns that you may encounter. There is a 5-step action plan to help someone who is developing a mental health crisis, and we're gonna go over that in a second. And then we also talk a lot about different professional help, peer help, self-help, and how to link someone to those resources at the end of your time that you're meeting with them. And at the bottom, there is pictures of both books. This course is free at Genesee Health System right now. You walk away with the book and with the certificate of completion, so that's pretty exciting too. Okay, so this is the spectrum of mental health intervention. So we have all of these wonderful things in our community. We have lots of prevention programs. We have lots of treatment programs. Prevention could be like a DARE program or an early education program. I heard Dr. Dan talking about infant mental health. That's wonderful prevention. And of course, treatment is a lot about what Dr. Dan does and what Ebony does. Mental health first aid is right here in the middle. And so we want to be able to recognize people as they're becoming unwell. So we don't get all the way to that side and have this huge life-changing experience. If we could all be trained to listen and pick up on things that people are experiencing, noticing changes with them that might indicate a mental health concern, then that's that early intervention area. And this is right where that course falls. So this is the action plan. It spells out LG. LG is our mascot because this was created in Australia. He is a little koala. So A is assess for risk of suicide or harm. L is listen non-judgmentally, give reassurance and information, encourage appropriate professional help, and encourage self-help and other support strategies. So these can be in any order, except for always assessing for risk or harm. So anytime you encounter someone who could potentially be having a crisis or is struggling with a mental health concern, we always want to first assess for risk or harm. And then all of these other things, you're going to follow that gut. So you're going to listen, you're going to give reassurance, you can encourage, go back to listening, give more reassurance. All of that, you'll know what to do intuitively. So why mental health first aid? So we know that mental health problems are common. We looked at some of those statistics. We want to learn how to notice when someone needs the help before it's a really big thing and their life becomes impacted by it. We know that stigma is associated with mental health problems, and we want to promote understanding. So just like someone takes medication for their diabetes or someone has a cast on a broken leg, same thing for mental health. All of these things are equally as important. Professional help is not always on hand. If you're at the Kroger or you're at the mall and you are experiencing a challenge that is related to mental health, then if we staff our community with really awesome mental health first aiders, then there'll always be someone to support each other. So we want to help more people get what they need. We know that individuals with mental health problems do not seek help. That's directly from the stigma, from different cultural barriers. And this course talks about it in a way that just reminds people that this is sometimes part of life and it's not a sentence. Mental health doesn't have to be forever. We talk about resiliency and how to live a wonderful life while you're experiencing mental health. So 4 reasons to become a youth mental health first aider. So it does keep you prepared, just like we talked about with CPR. Mental health is common. 1 in 5 people experience it every year. You might want to take it because you care about other people, and you might want to take it because you know that you can help people. So mental health first aiders are teachers, supervisors, first responders, caretakers, coworkers, journalists, parents, friends, siblings, and even first ladies. And she had said it really gives you the skills that you need to identify and ultimately help someone in need. So this, a little bit about youth mental health first aid, like I said, it's going to go over those main diagnoses that you might encounter with a young person. And it really teases out typical adolescent development and when some of those quirky teenage struggles begin to segue into more of a mental health concern. And so even if you're a parent or a relative, a family member who is concerned with the way that your young person is behaving, this group is going to help you, this class is going to help you really make sense of both of those. Sometimes teenagers do some really wild things, and sometimes they hide in their room, and sometimes they talk a lot. But when do we know when that could be a concern and it's going to begin to impact their life? This class would help you out. So just a little bit about adolescence and numbers that we looked at. So these are the most common mental health disorders that a young person would experience between the ages of 13 and 18. And again, we're going to look at prevalence. And that severe impact is just to point out that mental illness can be mild, moderate, or severe. And so the severe end of it isn't always that huge, like we're not talking about insanity and psychosis and these things that people fear about when we talk about mental health. The stigma connected to it is like, it's hysterical. That mild and moderate mental health issues are so incredibly common that so many people function in their lives without even knowing about it. So really just showing the difference between people who have anxiety disorders, 30% of our population, but only 8% is severe. So there's a lot of other things leading up to that. So like I said, it is an evidence-based practice. And for me as a clinician, that just reminds me that what I'm giving to people I know is going to work. So much like Ebony mentioned cognitive behavioral therapy or dialectical behavioral therapy, mental health first aid is also scientifically proven to be successful. So if you're looking for something for yourself to be more skilled in mental health, this one's for you. And this is a little bit about where you can sign up. So you can come to our website, which is genhs.org/MHFA. And then you can register right online. The class is 8:30 to 5. Sometimes we get out early if we have a really great class. It's fun. You'll be alert, you'll be connected, and I promise you'll walk away learning tons and tons of really awesome stuff.
Well, Lisa, thank you so much.
That is so cool. I love that this is becoming a thing. This is something we need very much. Yeah.
Very important program that everyone can get involved with. Moving on now, let's learn a little bit about some very much needed coping skills. Meditation, you ever tried that?
I have not. I know you have.
Well, let's go ahead and find out more about it right now from Suzanne. Suzanne?
Hi. When I mentioned earlier that we have a family-to-family class, and we talk a lot about different coping skills that are available. And so we do that through some activities. And I have one activity that I would like to share with you today, and it is a relaxation exercise. So it starts off, I'd like you all to get very comfortable sitting down. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and relax. Begin by tensing the muscles of your feet, legs, and hips. Tense, tense, hold that tension, and quickly relax. Begin to tense the muscles of the stomach, chest, and back. Tense, tense, hold that tension, and quickly relax. Begin to tense the muscles of your shoulders, arms, and hands. Tense, tense, make 2 fists, and hold that tension, and quickly relax. Begin to tense the muscles of the neck and head. Tense, tense, make a face, hold that tension, and quickly relax. I am going to count backwards from 100 to 0. And when I get to 0, you will be in a very deep state of relaxation. 100, 99, 98, and deeper, 97, 96, 95, and more relaxed, 94, 93, 92, 91, 90, and now down to 80, and more relaxed, to 70, and now down to 60, 50, and down to 40, and deeper, to 30, 20, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and now a very deep state of relaxation, 0. Take a deep breath and relax even more. In just a moment, I'm going to count from 0 to 10. When I reach 10, you will find yourself back to normal consciousness, feeling refreshed and alert with a sense of well-being. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, open your eyes and look around and return to normal consciousness.
That was really nice.
Wasn't it though?
I needed that really bad.
That's why Suzanne does what Suzanne
Yes.
does. Well, you know, we do this every single year, even though this year is a little different than most years. So in case you weren't here last year, let's look back.
Hey, I'm sorry for those of you who are here because you have lost someone to suicide. I'm inspired by those of you who struggle with your own mental health, and I appreciate all of you who are here as a support to those who are bereaved by suicide, and also to support anyone who might be struggling with their own mental health. I am honored that you chose to be here today. You did not need to come today to be with people who need you. I'm honored that you chose to be here today. For many of you, it has taken a lot of strength. It takes a lot of energy. People don't want to have to be part of this club. It's something that we didn't ask for, something no one wishes to have to be part of. But how amazing that there's people who care and are willing to be here for each and every one of you. Your journey is unique. There might be mixed feelings as to why you're here today and why maybe you need to be here today. In some ways, this walk is part of your life journey, one that you didn't ask for and one that we don't plan for. I have a quote that says, we can't change what happened in our lives, but we can change how we live because it happened.
Note 60, note 70, note 80, note 90, note 20, 2 more. Note 21, note 22. Well done.
Let's have a moment of reflection. Let's have a moment of silence. To think about those we have lost, and to think about those that will always live on in our hearts, and to think about what we're going to do today and tomorrow and beyond.
And perhaps in the year 2021, we'll see another Illuminate walk just like that. So what can you do? It's probably what you're asking yourself.
Yes,
right
how
now.
can you help? What can you do?
So there's many things, big and small, and somewhere in between that you can do. How about this? You ever post a picture?
No, never.
One that doesn't involve your cat.
Sometimes, not often.
So why don't you go ahead and post a picture of, well, you know, any or all the following items up to the NAMI Facebook page. So first off, go find it. It's NAMI Genesee County. And you do this and you're going to have a chance to win yourself some prizes, okay? So you can do a couple different things. Take a picture by the big sponsor. That's right, Genesee Health Systems. It's 420 West 5th Street right here in Flint. Google that one if you need to. Or how about get to walking?
You can walk 1 mile or more if that's your thing for mental health awareness. But, you know, any walk is a good walk. I absolutely agree with Tawana and the physical activity. I stay active 7 days a week simply for my mental health. So walking 1 mile for mental health awareness is a great way to get started.
And in case you're not too into walking per se, but you want to definitely do something, how about 22 push-ups for veteran suicide awareness? I was born on post, Fort Knox, Kentucky. Veterans need our help. So if you can do any of these 3 things and post a picture up on the NAMI Genesee County Facebook page, not only are you helping end the stigma and spread awareness, but you can also win some prizes. So you get something for free. We want to thank everyone who's been a part of this tonight, even you right there. You right there watching, wherever you are. Is it on a phone or a laptop? Phone. And there it is. It's a year, well, we'll never forget. And next year, perhaps we'll be back to a little bit more normal circumstances.
If there was ever a year to really, really take care of your mental health and the mental health of the people around you, this is it.
We want to thank all of our attendees. Thank you for watching wherever you are. Thanks to all of our sponsors. Thanks to everyone who spoke here tonight. And mainly, let's thank our community for having a great event like this. And we can't wait to see you back here next year, 2021, for the Illuminate Walk.
Now go walk 1 mile. Go do 22 push-ups.
Yeah,
go take a picture.
Post.